You are listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Bungalow Fight Show. We're back. It's the first week in like a month where we've had all the Bungalow shows all in 1 week, and we're back with a fight show. Not a lot of fight news this week, so we're just going to go over last week's card and just the fights and how we did, and then the forthcoming card. It was kind of a odd, slow news week this week. In at least in the UFC MMA world. But before we get to that, this show, like all the other shows, brought to you by Betalytics. Go to Betalytics.com, use promo code PEAK1, get 25% off, and win some freaking sports bets. Unlike me, don't be like me, don't bet with your gut. I won a little tiny bit of money last week on the UFC, and I lost it all on a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown bet the next day. It was like the sure thing bet all year, win or lose for the Niners. And then, of course, the first week he doesn't score a touchdown, I bet on it. So go to Betalytics, get 25% off for all of the analytics you need to make smarter, more educated bets. Don't bet with your gut. Go to Betalytics. League Swipe. I gotta talk with the suits. I'm not even sure if League Swipe's a sponsor anymore because all the fantasy is underway. It's just going. But if you're a fantasy commissioner, and right now Kyle, the commissioner of my fantasy league, he's out there breaking digital legs trying to get money because he's like, hey, if you guys aren't paid up by the 17th, I'm locking you out of your roster, baby. So. If you don't want to be that guy, you don't want to have to be that guy, go to League Swipe. They got all kinds of tools that'll help you collect money from your degenerate league and other tools. So go to League Swipe, tell them Peak One sent you, and see if they can help you out. The Peak One Network, Sports Network merch store at bonfire.com/store/Peak One Sports. Go there, check out all our merch for all the shows. Even this one, the Bungalow Fight Show shirt. It's my favorite shirt. I wear it all the time, just never on this show. I always forget to put it on. Bonfire.com/store/Peak One Sports. Shank It Golf. Our friends at Shank It Golf are offering you 15% off if you use promo code PEAK1 at checkout. They got all kinds of cool golf shit. I don't need to say it. I'm gonna buy a bunch of their stuff, and then I'm gonna go out to the driving range and do some promo pics for you, so you can see how cool their shit is. If you're just not gonna go to the website, just go to the website right now. See their cool shit. Use promo code PEAK1 and be a cooler dude on the links. That's it, dude. I'm just burning through these ads now. We got too many of them. Too many people want to be a part of this thing.
We're going to have to do pre-recorded ads, just drop them in.
Maybe if they forked over some more dollars, that might be an option. But until then, you get my abbreviated beginning of the show ads, and that's it. But that brings us to UFC 294. What was it last week? 295?
I think it was 294.
294. It was a good card. It was an enjoyable card to watch. Overall, I watched it from top to bottom. It was, it was one of the first in a while, I would say pay-per-view worthy. If you're into that sort of thing, paying for pay-per-views. But I enjoyed it, and your boys, we went 6-3, one draw, so that one technically doesn't count. But we're on a tear, bud. Or I should say,
exactly.
Alexis is on a tear. I put out my 2 cents, and sometimes we agree with each other. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, these are Alexis's picks. Okay, I'm just following along. 62-33. Is our record. We are 65%. We are still sitting at the top of all MMA better picks out there. So the least you could do is go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting a lot of audio listeners. the video watches, the video views were waning a little bit. Maybe I don't know what the deal with that was, but Bungalow Sports Show this week is already caught up, already surpassed the episodes from the week before. So maybe that was just a little bit. Maybe people were busy; they weren't watching podcasts last couple weeks. I don't know what that is, but go subscribe, view, comment, hit the little bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff. Because we're giving you gold here, people. I mean, just straight up gold. Like our winners last week were good. Our finishing methods, not so much. I mean, obviously, the one bet that I did win was the Alex Pajea KO bet. That was about the lowest payout, though, of course, of all the bets I made. But he did KO. We had Tom Aspinall, who ended in a KO, which was a little surprising. Real early. No, I mean, not surprising, but of all the ways you thought that fight was going to go, if it was KO, you thought it was going to be Pavlovich. If it was sub, you thought it was going to go Aspinall. But I don't know. Anything of note you want to talk about off that card?
Well, let's talk about the Fervola.
Oh my God. So listen here, people. I talked big about the steamroller. He's won me and Alexis money. Benoit Saint Denis was, he's a guy. He's a dude. He's been doing the damn thing, and it wasn't anything against him. It was just they're kind of both were on a little tear. And then I was just use my gut, use my emotions, saying, Fervola's in his backyard. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to do this thing. And he got fucking head kicked 3 minutes into the fight or whatever it was. And just put to sleep. And Alexis, because Alexis is smart, about 12 hours before the fight was just like, I think St. Denis is winning this fight. And then as I was about to make the graphic, I'm like, are we changing it? Are we changing it up? And you're like, nah, we need a dog. Just keep Fervola on there. And god damn it, I'm like the gut, and Alexis is like the AI analytics. We should have changed it to Saint Denis, because I mean he just came out with the better technique, dude.
Speaking about that, like if you look at the props, if you're like one of those guys that goes and waits till the props come out, and you look at these fighter bouts and the prop bets and the odds tell you who's going to win, regardless if they're a dog or not. Like, for instance, when Angela Hill fought Denise Gomes, Angela Hill to win by decision was at -1 or +106, and everything else with Denise Gomes winning, and Angela Hill was a dog.
Right.
She was projected to win by decision in the props. Saint Denis was projected to win by KO inside the props.
Right.
So I mean, I think from now on we're gonna do inside the distance. We're not gonna do this KO unless it's like someone like like a striker.
Like the Pajea thing. Like it was just like. We thought he was gonna win, and he wins by KO. That's what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there was one point in the fight where I was like, "Of course he's gonna win by submission."
He caught him in
that guillotine.
He did. He caught him in a really tight guillotine, and it wasn't looking. That KO was not looking good for a second there.
Yeah. I was like, asshole was puckering a little bit. It was just like, of course, this is gonna happen.
Right. Well, it was just one of those nights, where it's like I said, our winner projections, I mean, steamroller aside, our winner projections were right. It was just the way the fight finished was a little sketchy. But but either
Diego
way. Diego Lopez, dude. My Chemical Lopez, dude.
Yeah, freaking he's a great submission guy. Like everyone in the mom, including me, picked him to win by sub, and then he just KOs.
Just smashed him, dude.
Victor Petrino. So like,
smashed him. And you know what the funny thing about Diego Lopez is? Like, he's one of my new favorite fighters, obviously to watch. And he seems like a nice guy, but he's also just very ferocious fighter. When you get in there, very unassuming. He's got those emo bangs, so it's like you're not really scaring anybody. But then you watch him fight, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And now even more so because you're not like, oh, this guy's gonna choke the shit out of somebody. It's like, oh, this guy might knock somebody's fucking head off.
Yeah.
But it's funny that he speaks zero English, but he's got a full, like, 6-word phrase in English tattooed on his chest.
And it is an emo font. Like, like he's playing the part so much, dude. Like, emo kid, freaking...
I love it. I love it.
It's awesome.
He's one of my new favorite fighters, obviously. And I just... I hope they keep bringing. I hope they don't feed him to somebody too big too soon, because he is getting very popular. But the fact that he's a non-English speaker, he's a Brazilian guy, he's not really going to get that American popularity bust that usually catapults people to. It doesn't catapult people into a too big a fight too soon. So he might be able to kind of work his way up a little bit, keep fucking people up, and he's definitely got championship caliber written all over him.
I think he'll be all right because he waited to join the UFC. Like, he went to over 20 fights.
Right.
He has the experience under his belt. I think.
Well, and you watch these fights, even though they're against, I guess whatever, they're guys that are at his ranking level, but like compared to a guy like a Paddy Pimblett who's already fighting big names, but then you like look every fight where like we get less impressed by him every fight. And you're just like, oh, this is all hype. This is all popularity. You know what I mean? Which, on the entertainment popularity side, obviously he deserves it. But it's like, you want that, and then you want Conor McGregor, who was starching people. You know what I mean? When he was getting that same hype train, we were more impressed with him every fight. And his hype was getting bigger, and his popularity was getting bigger. Paddy Pimblett's popularity keeps growing, but we're disappointed every time he fights,
it's like, why does he still have this hype train?
Right, it's very odd. I mean, it's because he keeps winning, I guess. Like, you can't derail a hype train if the wins keep coming, but it's just like, if real fight fans, I don't know how you look at a Paddy Pimblett fight and go, oh yeah, that guy is a world beater. It's like, he is not. You know what I mean? Like, Jared Gordon, like, he knocked out Marco Madsen this weekend, but he's not blowing anybody's hair back, Jared Gordon, and he beat Paddy Pimblett by decision. Like, he did. We had a bad judge's decision on that one, and if that didn't happen, Paddy's hype train would already been derailed. My Chemical Lopez he's my guy right now. In Mackenzie Dern, get her out of here. Just get her out of here, dude.
I hope he didn't do the shirt.
I did not. I didn't. I thought better of it.
Maybe it would have been relevant if she won.
Maybe, but like that was just one of the most pathetic fights for such a highly touted fighter, somebody with such a high skill set in jiu-jitsu, somebody who's I guess maybe you can blame her firing Perillo, because like her stand-up in her last couple fights was much improved, and that's why I was like, I think you and I, if her stand-up didn't look as good as it did in her last couple fights, I don't think I would have been so sure that she was going to beat Andrade, right? But because her stand-up was looking good, I was like, well, she can do enough to defend and set some shit up to get it to the ground, because her stand-up isn't terrible. Right?
Yeah.
Her stand-up was absolutely terrible.
It was garbage, man.
And she maybe attempted 2 takedowns the entire fight, and they were garbage takedown attempts.
It was like, what are they under the freaking... I forgot what it was called, but she needs, like, legit takedowns.
Oh, she was going for those weird, like, you just look like you're tired, overhook, underhook, trying to just drag somebody down, takedowns. It's like, no, you got to double leg that bitch. Like, like Jessica Andrade, she's a little powerhouse. Like, you're not going to just drag her to the mat. Like, you've got to double leg her. You've got to single leg and sweep. You got to do something, trip her, throw her. And she did have kind of a decent little throw at the beginning of the fight. You know? But then she like rushed, like she was rushing for a submission when she should have just position control and held her down there and worked for a submission. She got a nice little head and arm and then tried to go straight for some kind of headlock.
Yeah, I think she still had like at least like 3.5 minutes left in the round. She could have spent like
there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't get the submission in that round, it's like use that top control to wear her out. Like she never. I don't know. It was a bizarre fight considering how she's looked in her last 2 fights, that's the only reason I think that we picked her or were so sure that it was a victory. Because, like we were saying, Andrade, she's a past champ, but she's on the other side of her career. You know, she's got that power, and she's always going to have that power. That's like the last thing to go. You know what I mean? But like, she made Mackenzie Dern look like Crone Gracie. You know what I mean? Like, it was disgusting. It was disgusting stand up when you have such a crazy advantage on the ground. Like, I hope Jason Perillo is sitting at home just laughing his ass off. You know what I mean?
Like, that's what you get.
I mean, what is that?
I don't know what happened with that. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
don't really pay attention too much to that. But.
I know his gym closed. Like, maybe he closed his gym, but it's like, I don't know if he was still available to coach, and they decided. I don't know what happened. I'm only going off John Anik during the fight said something about her firing Jason Perillo, or somebody said it during the fight. So the announcers usually do their homework on little tidbits of information like that. So I doubt that's all I'm going off of on the firing aspect of it. I don't know the ins and outs. I know that cool looking all white gym that he had that Bisping made famous. You know what I mean? Bisping was always in there, and Cyborg was always in there or whatever. But like, I know that place closed down. But other than that, I don't know much about it. I just know that Mackenzie Dern looked like dog shit on the feet. So
we'll see. I think she's not moving up in the rankings. I think she's gonna stay there unless she learns how to take someone down.
Yeah, I mean,
regardless of the belt size, I think like with her prowess and like her knowledge in jiu-jitsu, one way to like a double leg, learning how to double leg, and that's it, would do a lot for her.
Yeah, I agree. Alex Pereira and Prochazka, there's not a whole lot to talk about because it was a pretty quick fight. Alex pretty much just pieced him up for a couple minutes and then fucking knocked his ass out in a weird scramble with like an uppercut. And then just a TKO finish, and people were saying it was an early stoppage, but watching it in real time, you saw that Prochazka was out. He did go out.
Yeah.
Prochazka came out afterwards saying he was out. You know, he's obviously a gentleman and a scholar, so he's definitely not gonna take the bitch move and say it was an early stoppage. He went out. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole reason why he fell back. Like, I think he went out and got woken up from the punches.
100%. That's exactly what happened. And Pereira went out and called out Izzy at 205.
Come to daddy.
I mean, come to daddy. We saw Izzy at 205. Obviously, that was against Jan, who wrestled the shit out of him and was much bigger. And obviously, it's an opponent he's fought before. But I don't really care to see that Izzy Alex fight. I mean,
no.
I think Izzy's obviously got his personal issues going on, stepping away from the octagon and losing to Strickland and all that stuff, but I feel like you got to do a unification bout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he would have to fight someone first,
or it's not an interim title, but you got to do the Jamal Hill fight's got to happen.
Give him Yuri.
Give a Yuri rematch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Or are you talking about Izzy?
Yeah, give Izzy Yuri.
Yeah. If Izzy's going up to 205, yes, give him Yuri. If Alex, if it's still gonna be a while before Jamal Hill comes back, I mean, I don't know. And Kylev, maybe. I don't know who they're gonna give Alex if it's not Jamal Hill next.
I don't think they're going to give Ankalaev anything because, like, what is he? He came off of a draw and then a disqualification.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you'll probably see Walker versus Pereira.
Oh, there you go. Johnny Walker, he's on his little winning streak right now. So that would be a good fight, and that would definitely be a knockout for Alex. So,
I think Ankalaev's, like, close to like cut territory because like this is the second time fights have not gone in a favorable direction.
I think you're right. I think they go Johnny Walker, which all things being equal should be a knockout for Alex.
Yeah.
And then that is like a little bridge fight to the Jamal Hill fight. In the meantime, Izzy fights Yuri and then waits for the winner of Jamal Hill, Alex. I don't know. Izzy's in that territory now when fighters take these time off like this and weird shit like this. Like the only one who's ever really survived this kind of personal turmoil, DUIs, and whatever else he's getting himself into. John Jones, the only person ever really survived that and came out. And came out in championship status on the other side and never lost a step. You know what I mean? Everybody else. It's a hard road, and the thing is John Jones didn't lose before he did all his shit. Izzy has lost his title, got it back, granted, but then lost to technically somebody he shouldn't have lost to. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like it's a different road for Izzy right now because he's very, very mortal and very beatable. When like 2 years ago he looked like he was, other than Jan Blachowicz, he was the man. You know what I mean? And I don't know. The 205 landscape is a little bit. Anything could happen there.
I personally think he's not going to move up, but personally think he's waiting to see Strickland get knocked out from being a title.
Right. Well, exactly.
And if he doesn't, I think that's even bad news for Izzy because how is he going to deal with that?
Yeah. Well, we shall see. We got a new interim heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall, just like we thought.
Let's be real. He's the actual heavyweight. I mean,
he is, dude. Like
the actual heavyweight champion.
That's problems for John Jones, dude. I'm gonna say it right now. That I think right now is John Jones' hardest fight. That guy, he is so fucking fast. John Jones isn't gonna. John Jones usually has speed on people. He's not gonna have speed on Tom Aspinall. He's not gonna have size on Tom Aspinall.
No.
He's not gonna have.
He'll have the reach a little bit, but
he'll have the reach.
Sergey had reach as well, so
he might have the stand-up wrestling takedown side of the grappling, but he's not going to have a submission advantage over Tom Aspinall. It's gonna. I want to see that fight. John Jones being John Jones. Who knows how long it'll be till we see him again? Which again is why he should have relinquished the goddamn title.
Well, John Jones is on an 8-fight win. What is it? He signed an 8-fight deal.
Right.
He fought Cyril Gane. So he still has technically 7 fights.
Sure, but it's not like he's going to go fight anywhere else, so he could just stop fighting. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just...
Yeah.
I mean, especially if... I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to have Aspinall just defend the interim title until John Jones decides whether he's going to come back or not? Like, it's so dumb. Like, it should have been for the real title.
Yeah.
Like, because even without injury, John Jones waits fucking a year and a half to fight again. You know what I mean? Like, so with injury, it's like, how long is it going to fucking be? And it's like Tom Aspinall is just going to fight everybody and defend the interim title. Like, it's so weird. But and the longer John Jones waits, or the longer it takes him to come back from injury, or the more this injury has taken a toll on his body, the worse it spells for him against a guy like Aspinall. Like, I really wish we could see this fight right now. I mean, obviously, healthy John Jones. Obviously he's injured, but you know what I'm saying. Like, Aspinall's just so goddamn good, and John Jones is just so goddamn good. It's like I want to see him at the top. I want to see him fight top John Jones. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I think this whole like interim, I think it's alluding to there will be another fight after the Stipe fight, even if that fight ever happens. And I think that's a backup plan.
Right.
If the Stipe fight falls out again, we have Aspinall.
Well, and we all know what my prediction was, that if John Jones did fight Stipe on Saturday and won, well, obviously he was going to retire. I thought that was going to be the case. I mean, who knows what the game plan is now? Because, like I said, Stipe's freaking old as dirt too, and is not good anymore. And because he's not beating Tom Aspinall, he's not beating Sergey Pavlovich. He probably wouldn't beat Cyril Gane. Like, Stipe's not beating anybody in the top 5.
I think he would beat Cyril Gane. He just has to take him down.
I guess, right? But that's again, where's he at? Like where's he at? True. I guess anybody who could beat Cyril Gane if you take him down, Andy could fucking beat him if I taught him a single leg. But
unless you're Sergey Spivak and you don't have IQ, and refuse to freaking take him down and keep taking him down.
I just the top of the landscape of that heavyweight division right now, the one there's John Jones, who's like above everybody else and is like just out of the mix because of injury. But anybody else, like the only guy that is going to go up against Tom Aspinall and give him a fight would have been Pavlovich, and he just fucking smoked him. You know what I mean? So, and smoked him at his own game. A beginning of the round quick knockout. You know what I mean? Like that's Pavlovich's game, is go out there and just destroy someone, and he got destroyed. So
that first punch was scary that Pavlovich was throwing because
he landed.
He got him hard.
He fucking landed, dude. But I mean, Aspinall's obviously got a chin, so congrats to the new champ. Yeah, thankfully. All right, dude. This weekend, we have no graphics. Sorry, we have no graphics, people. If you've been watching the Bungalow shows this week, we haven't had graphics all week. I got to do a little overhaul of my studio here and replug some shit in and see what's going on. But we've got Fight Night at the Apex Center. We got what's his name? Jared Allen? No, what's his name?
No, Brendan
Allen. Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig. Paul Craig has won us some money before a lot of times with his dazzling submissions. So this is going to be a fight night. Not a lot of huge names coming at you on this one, but we're going to go through it as we always do anyways. Prelims on ESPN Plus. We're starting the whole thing off. Flyweight bout, Charles Johnson versus Rafael Estevam. We don't even have odds on these guys. Flyweight bout. What do you think? You got any thoughts on this one?
I think Esteban. Yeah, dude. Like, this is Contender Series, and like this season of Contender Series, like I'm not really high on.
Alexis lost a lot of money on the Contender Series this season. We're not high on any of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, Charles Johnson's coming off of 2 losses.
Right.
Dude, like, Esteban should win, but this is his first fight in the UFC.
Don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. That's what
this is the second time fighting in the Apex, though, which could mean something if you think that's going to help you anything. But, yeah, I don't got anything. I think Esteban will win. He's also the favorite, very high favorite.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but...
All right, moving on. Moving on to some names we've heard of. Lightweight bout, Trey Ogden, Nicholas Mata. Mata's a 148 favorite to a plus 124 dog in Ogden. Any thoughts on these guys?
I'm gonna go with Ogden. Ogden has good. Mata has knockout power, but he's like brawler. Ogden's much more crisp striker.
Right. I think
he got good chain wrestling.
Even though he's a slight dog, Ogden. If you're looking to put money on this, I go Ogden too.
Yeah, he took Daniel Zellhuber to decision, won that one, and Zellhuber had a big showing on Noche UFC.
Right.
But
speaking of Noche UFC, did you see where next year's Noche UFC is going to be?
No, I didn't.
It's going to be at the Sphere, baby.
Oh, nice.
Dana White booked the Sphere for Mexican Independence Day.
Independence, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's odd that they're gonna have it there.
It's a
but that's super cool. That's
a theater, so it's definitely more of a theater than you'd think when you look at some of the pictures. Like when it's not a concert, you can definitely see like how it could do something. But anyways, sorry about the tangent, but I read that yesterday. So yeah, I think Ogden for sure.
Yeah, that's not much. He's probably gonna win by decision. Ogden's not really much of a finisher.
Right.
Mota is, but Mota gets 1 round to do something.
Right.
Maybe half a round once that happens.
Right.
He doesn't got anything after that.
All right, moving on. Women's bantamweight bout: Lucy Pudilova versus Eileen Perez. Women's bantamweight. Don't bet on it.
No. Take the Nurmagomedov. Oh, God, I can't even say it. Nurmagomedov, Eileen Perez.
Yeah.
She has good wrestling. She has power.
Yeah. And she's the face. She's a 155 favorite from the looks of it here.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's all. That's all.
Don't get crazy with props unless you're looking at the decisions.
Next up, featherweight bout: Jekka Saragi versus Lucas Alexander. Jekka, an Indonesian fighter. We don't get to see a lot of those. What do you think here? Brazil versus Indonesia.
Oh, well, I know Lucas Alexander was supposed to be on the Brazil card. Yeah, I don't know about this fight, man, because Saragi is a good prospect, but he lost to Anshel Jubli.
Right.
He ground and pound. I don't know, man. It's the first. Usually, this is like my bread and butter. The very first fight of the night, like that's the one I go big on, and then it sets the stage for the rest of it. This one's like red tape, red flag. Don't even.
Yeah, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
What about our next fight? Heavyweight bout: Mick Parkin out of the UK versus Caio Machado.
We're gonna do Mick Parkin.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep Parkin trains with Tom Aspinall, so he's gonna have an aura about him, a little boost of confidence because his training partner won the interim champion, which we call the real championship right now.
That's right.
And yeah, dude,
coming out
Parkin all the way. He has wrestling. He has the power.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Next up, I think the next bout got canceled, right? The Cesar Almeida fight. I thought I saw that Almeida got booted from the card.
Yeah. It says Almeida surgery from infection.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw something.
I think infection from surgery. These guys are amazing at proofreading.
So yeah, that fight's out. We got a bantamweight bout. Chad Allinger, and Helliger. Sorry, God, I need to learn how to fucking read. Versus Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson's a Contender Series guy too, isn't he? Or no? He
lost to Damon Blackshear. He's the one.
That's right.
Twistered.
He got twisted, but he is a -205 favorite in this one against and Helliger. What do you think about those odds?
I'm gonna go with Johnson, dude. He has the power. Like if you know, like he did have a little bit of success against Damon Blackshear. Like he did touch him pretty well, and that's why Damon Blackshear took him to the ground. So Chad and Helliger, kind of overall, like kind of like a good fighter, but I think just based on like their last matches, like he lost to Alaton Haley.
Right.
Damon Blackshear, I feel like is a better loss to have on your record.
Right.
Than Alaton Haley. So yeah, and he comes from the land of the North, which I have my thoughts about fighters from there.
That's right. Our final bout on the prelims, featherweight Jonathan Pierce versus Joe Anderson Brito. We got Pierce is the 148 favorite to a 124 dog in Brito. What do you think about this one?
It's first round's obviously going to go to Brito. Brito has power. I'm going to take Pierce to go to lose the first round, but start picking it up in the second round.
Yeah.
I don't see any there's barely any fights on here that finish. So I mean, basically, Parsons going to take over after the second round. Brito's going to come out guns blazing like he usually does.
If Pierce can weather the first half of the first round, he's probably going to wear him down the rest of the fight.
Yeah, and like he has Derek Elkins, Marwan Amirkhani as a win. Christian Rodriguez. His Pierce has the
pedigree, the resume.
the pedigree, the tougher fight schedule.
Yeah.
And he's been out on top.
I think Pierce,
even though they're both on some streaks, but
yeah, Pierce is a smart money here. All right, first fight on the main card, welterweight bout. Johnny Parsons, he's got some heavy lettuce out the back of his head. And Uros Medic from Serbia. Medic is the minus 245 favorite to a plus 200 dog in Johnny Parsons, and I think that's right.
Yeah. You know what? I was trying to figure out, where do I know this guy? Parsons was a negative 400 favorite, and I don't know who we picked. He was. It was like an early fight night that we had on the podcast. And he just starched the dude. Like comes in like mullet waving flaying in the air and.
Yeah. No, I remember him starching a guy, but Medic is a freaking beast, dude. Like, I just don't see that mullet beating Medic, but that's me with my gut. So
no, yeah. I mean, the gut is telling me after like I recognize him. It's like, what are you doing going against him? But no, Medic has the pedigree. He has the wrestling. He also has power, dude. Like, I think.
No, you're right. But, I mean, I don't know. Let Alexis get further in the week and look at those prop bet odds, and then.
No, you know what?
Get back to you.
I just say like Medic's last win is Matthew Semmelsberger. I think we took Semmelsberger in that fight. Yeah. And Semmelsberger was winning the first 2 rounds, and then. I think wasn't winning anymore.
Yeah. He wasn't winning real quick.
Medic can take a beating. Kind of like what's his name? Nicholas Dalby.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we got a ranked women's strawweight bout. Number 9, Luana Pinheiro versus number 10, Amanda Ribas. And Ribas is a minus 298 favorite to a plus 240 dog in Pinheiro. I don't know. Okay.
You don't know. Well, Ribas is like not doing well.
Right, but she's a freaking giant favorite.
Ribas did beat Mackenzie Dern, and last fight
that doesn't mean much anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't mean much anymore. She is moving down the weight. Ribas is moving down a weight class. She's probably going to where she is supposed to be.
Right. And which means she'll probably have a little bit of size.
I'm not too sure. If I look at this, Pinheiro's 5'4". They might be the same size. No, she's still smaller. Ribas is 5'3", so like inch difference. So I think like physical attributes go in Pinheiro's favor. And this is dog or pass. Ribas is not.
Dog or pass, I like that.
Yeah, dog or pass.
And I say pass, okay? Moving on, bantamweight bout, Peyton Talbot versus Nick Aguirre. Or Aguirre, whatever. Just bring it. Whatever. Pronounce it however you want.
Yeah.
Both these guys. I'm surprised these guys are on the main card. To be quite honest.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Both contender series dudes.
Right. What do you think? These are your favorite contender series guys.
Nah.
The big meh.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Is Peyton a favorite?
UFC, they don't even have odds up on UFC.com for this.
Oh,
one.
Perfect. Yeah. We'll just watch that one, dude.
Yeah, just watch it. Don't bet it.
Yeah. I don't have much on Peyton. I think it was obviously he came off of a decision win. Aguirre's. They're both. Yeah, it's so weird. This should be. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. We'll just watch it.
The only reason they're on here is because they were on the contender series. If they weren't coming from the contender series, they'd be on the prelims.
Yeah.
This is an interesting fight right here. Lightweight bout, Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levitt. Both like the most unassuming looking fighters in the UFC. Chase Hooper's a minus 245 fave to a plus 200 dog in Levitt. Both these guys win when you don't think they're going to win, and now they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
Chase Hooper, I'm assuming, is such a heavy favorite because of his ground game acumen. But Levitt knocks people out sometimes, dude.
Yeah. And I think everyone's sleeping on Levitt here because Levitt does have ground game as well.
I feel like he's a good dog to take, especially if he can keep the fight standing.
Yeah, and if you go back in like his past fights, he beat Trey Ogden.
Right.
And Trey Ogden was like a negative 300 favorite.
Right.
And basically just leg kicked him to a decision.
Right.
And yeah, so I think Jordan the Monkey King Levitt, I'm going to go with him, man, because
I would too. That's a good dog to bet on right there.
Chase Hooper's striking is horrendous.
Yeah, it's like awkward and gaudy and long and rubbery.
Yeah.
And I could see Levitt landing like a fucking knee when Hooper's trying a sloppy takedown or some shit like that.
And then twerk after he finishes him.
That's right. All right. Co-main event. Oh, wait, you got something else to say about this?
No. Yeah, I don't have anything. It doesn't really matter. Jordan Levitt's going to win. That's it.
Co-main event, welterweight bout, Michael Morales, Jake Matthews. I mean, Jake Matthews is I'm surprised he's a dog. He's a 210 dog in this to a minus 258. Is Morales something I should know about? Like, as far as
I don't know. Darius Flowers. Yeah, I don't know. The Celtic kid, that's a kind of cool nickname, but
yeah, I don't know. Jake Matthews is just one of those guys that he's been around the block for a minute. One of these Australian guys who's always kind of in bigger spots.
Yeah.
But he is a big dog in this one, so maybe that's another. I don't know. Do your homework on Morales, and we'll find out. Because
Morales is a finisher. Supposedly, I don't remember any of these fights. He fought in like Cyril Gane versus Francis Ngannou. I mean, obviously it wasn't that great enough that I was
right. That's what I'm
pretty
saying.
Impressed,
like, for him to be that big of a favorite against Jake Matthews is kind of weird. Not that Jake Matthews is like crazy good or anything like that, but Jake Matthews, like I said, has been on some big cards. He's been in some memorable fights, and he is a big time dog here. So, think on that one, and maybe Jake Matthews is a good dog to take. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, main event, middleweight bout, Brendan Allen, Paul Craig, and this podcaster just until he makes me super super mad, I can't go against Paul Craig, dude. Brendan Allen, though, I mean, I guess probably the more well-rounded fighter, but Paul Craig, he could pull out a submission in any minute. So maybe the smart money's on Allen, but you sprinkle a little Paul Craig submission hedge bet in there.
Yeah, we've seen little moments like Allen is super dominant, but like when he goes up to somebody that is generally tougher,
right?
Has some size and also has some strength. For instance,
and again,
Jacob Malkoun.
Like we said again about a few fighters, is Paul Craig takes a horrendous beating and is still in the fight no matter what. So, and has pulled off last second, third round submissions and things like that in a fight where he's got his face pounded in for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So like, like you said, Brendan Allen, when he goes up against guys who can take those shots and take that beating for a while, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm taking Paul Craig.
I think so. I don't have the odds here. Do you have the odds there? The odds
I don't have.
Yeah, I bet you Brendan Allen is probably a favorite. Maybe a slight favorite.
Let's see. Yeah, obviously he is a favorite. But I want to see how big of a favorite he is.
And like I said, no matter what you do here, you got to sprinkle a little bit on the Paul Craig submission. That would just be a real shame.
Yeah.
If he pulls out that armbar with 435 of the third round, and he pulls out that armbar and you didn't bet on it.
Paul Craig plus 330.
Oh God, that is juicy.
Yeah,
that is too juicy.
Jake Matthews is plus 230. I think that you mentioned that.
Yeah, that. Forget Jake Matthews. Paul Craig being that big of a dog, that's hard not to put some money on him. Even if you put Brendan Allen in the parlay, Paul Craig's got to get some money.
My biggest win ever on a dog that had like a 14-1 payout was with Paul Craig.
Yeah, we both won that.
It was like Paul Craig and under 2.5 rounds.
And Paul Craig
Paul
Craig was also part of the UK parlay of 2021, dude. Like,
yeah,
that he'll forever be in our hearts.
Yeah.
But so this fight card's not gonna blow your hair back, but sometimes these cards end up being real bangers, dude. And it's a bunch of guys you don't know a lot about, a bunch of fights that you really don't know the outcome. They end up surprising you. Yeah, dude. So tune in Saturday night, 2 p.m. Pacific is an early start.
Yeah.
And that main card, like I said, no matter what you bet, make sure you sprinkle some money on a Paul Craig submission, because you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Because
honestly, if it does happen in round 3, which usually does happen, I think it's like 80% hit rate of Paul Craig getting a third round submission.
You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be so mad, dude. And you're not even gonna have any. See, usually Paul Craig's not the main event, so like if you don't bet on that and you don't win it, and then you got a few fights to cool down after that. But this is the main event. You're gonna be mad for the rest of the weekend. If you don't hit that submission and he hits it. So
and those losses sting the most, like when you're winning.
Oh yeah.
You're like, you're winning, and you're like, he just only got a minute left, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, and that's those are the type of bets that save your whole night. Like your parlays are all busted and going into the main event. Going into the main event, all you got is this Paul Craig submission, and then you're on the edge of your seat the whole fight, and he pulls it out and he saves your whole night for you.
Yeah.
But all right, buddy.
I don't know. Yeah. Like we just got like a few I think 2 more UFC events, and then it's like break time.
Yeah.
So we should take a break, and then we'll talk about how we're gonna do our picks and like our tracking for the next.
Yeah, we need to retool a little bit, and then I'm thinking we should do a UFC 300 live event. We'll talk about that too in the future. But
that sounds good.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and enjoy your fights.
Yep. See ya.